Hey, welcome to another video. So today we're going to be talking about the Witch Queen expansion from Destiny 2. But before we begin, please be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, join the Sith Citadel Discord, links in the description, and consider becoming a join member or sending a super thanks if you wish to further support the channel. Otherwise, let's jump straight into it. Mars suddenly reappeared, albeit exhibiting temporal distortions, which has the Guardians and Vanguard fire teams deploying to survey the planet. They discovered several darkness-related structures, including the Enclave, and a forge-like device called the Relic within. Research teams led by the Hidden began studying both the structures and the temporal anomalies and documenting their findings. In addition, Cabal forces began deploying across the planet, reclaiming old territory and setting up anti-air defenses. This was in response to Savathun's flagship decloaking over the Martin Cradle and began engaging with Cabal forces. A Guardian, however, managed to board the flagship and reported a terrifying finding: Hive soldiers wielding the light, and with some even having their own ghosts. These light-imbued Hive would become known as the Lucent Brood. Horrified to see the Hive, one of humanity's greatest enemies, wielding the light, the Guardians managed to re-enter Savathun's throne world to search how the Witch Queen managed to steal the light, but encounter a renegade Hive ghost named Finch, who explains that Savathun tricked several Guardian-less ghosts to raise her Hive as light-bearers, claiming they were more deserving of the light than humanity. Finch, however, began to have doubts about Savathun's intentions, leading him to hide out and ultimately refuse to revive the Hive Knight he originally raised. Despite being suspicious, the Guardians listen to Finch, who directs them to the Temple of Savathun that had been made in honor of her sister Xivo Arath, the Temple of the Wrathful, and what they found inside was, to their surprise, Sagira shell, collected by Savathun after her light was taken by Xivo Arath. Traversing the Dark Temple and battling organized Scorn forces, the Guardians were able to retrieve Sagira, but in doing so, they hear Savathun's voice telling them of being called the Witness. Uncertain to what the Witness is, the Guardians learn that they heard was a memory of Savathun, and to fully see the memory, they delve deeper into the throne world, passing various darkness-related illusions, before entering a portal that leads them to a strange area called the Altar of Reflection. There, placing Sagira's shell at the altar, the Guardian sees Savathun's memory where she impersonated Osiris and from his friends learned secrets of the light. Believing that these secrets involved how the Witch Queen stole the light, Ikora has the Guardian continue working with Finch in discerning more from Savathun's memory. However, to fully do so, Ikora allowed the Guardian to enter the pyramid on Europa to directly commune with the darkness, heightening their deep sight abilities to see through the illusions in Savathun's throne world. Returning to Finch, the Hive Ghost informs them of another temple that Savathun had made in honor of her brother Oryx, the Temple of the Navigator, claiming there was a secret within. The Guardians enter the temple and battle with, to their surprise, Alakul, now raised as a light-bearer called the Lightblade. Though the Guardian managed to slay Alakul, his ghost managed to escape before they could destroy it. Nonetheless, at the center of the temple, the Guardian found a piece of the Tablets of Ruin, the artifact that taught Oryx how to take. Bringing the tablet and piece to the Altar of Reflection, they see Savathun's memory, where she refused to become the Taken Queen, but learn to their shock that Savathun intends to bring the Traveler to her throne world and seal it away, as a way to protect it from the Witness. However, such an act would cut the Guardians off from the light and leave the last city vulnerable. Admitting that she anticipated this, and needing every advantage they can get before the Witch Queen enacts her plan, Ikora has the Guardian follow another tip from Finch, believing that there is another important artifact within Savathun's throne world. Finch informs the Guardian that deep within the tunnels of the quagmire lies a temple dedicated to Sathona, the Witch Queen's former identity before becoming a Hive god, and within lies an artifact next to the statue of Sathona. Despite heavily entrenched Scorn forces and many illusionary securities impeding them, the Guardians manage to locate the Temple of the Cunning and enter it. There, they find the statue of Sathona, and after slaying the Scorn Warden and moving past Savathun's illusionary tricks, they collect a separate piece of the statue, a calcified worm familiar, the same one Sathona had kept by her side and that whispered to her about Fundament's end. However, taking the familiar activates a powerful illusion of the Amakara in a suffocating haze that nearly kills the Guardian. Despite this, the Guardian manages to escape with the worm familiar and attempts to take the familiar into the Altar of Reflection, but the portal entrance rejects them, forcing Ikora to call upon Eris Morn for guidance. Eris tells them that from a trusted source, Marasov, a memento for Savathun before her conversion to the light is located deep in her fortress, a possible answer to how the Witch Queen gained the light. Guiding them to the apothecary wing of the fortress, Eris claims that the item is a crystal that was once a part of Savathun's prison during her time with the Awoken. Using their gift to pierce through illusions, the Guardian is able to traverse Savathun's fortress and breach the apothecary, the grounds from which the Lucent brood conducted their wretched experiments with the light. Within the apothecary, the Guardians search for the crystal, but encounter the keeper of the apothecary, Savathun's right hand, a light-bearer wizard. Chasing the wizard throughout the apothecary, the Guardian manages to corner the wizard at the crystal's location and slay her. Grabbing the crystal allows the Guardian to hear a piece of Savathun's memory, but to fully see the memory, they return to the Altar of Reflection, bringing the crystal to the altar. The Guardians witness that after Savathun escaped from her crystal prison in the reef, she came to Earth to a mountain range overlooking the Traveler in the Last City. There, she came to the Traveler as a supplicant, but at that point, the wounds from her escape became too much and died. However, to their shock and horror, the Traveler willingly has a ghost, Imuru, revive Savathun as a light-bearer the same way as a Guardian. At the memory's end, Savathun herself enters and thanks the Guardian for helping her remember her memories, proving that the Witch Queen never stole the light but was granted it. Before Savathun could attack the Guardian, they managed to escape and report back to the Last City, telling the Vanguard of the awful truth they just witnessed. The Vanguard is left completely shocked and rattled to the core that the Traveler would raise Savathun, one of humanity's most devious adversaries, and grant her the light. Zavala himself is left incredulous and in near denial, but Eris Morn points out the Traveler's behavior of uplifting countless civilizations and then abandoning them in the Book of Sorrow. Zavala attempts to denounce this as mere hive propaganda, but Eris further details that the Fallen themselves tell a similar story. The moment the Witness and its Black Fleet arrived, the Traveler left, leaving them to the Whirlwind and eventually making its way to the Sol System. However, Zavala angrily reminds everyone present that when the Black Fleet arrived in the solar system, the Traveler sacrificed itself to save humanity. Yet the Vanguard commander cannot comprehend that after everything the Hive had done, the Traveler would give Savathun the light. Ikora merely states that it doesn't matter, regardless of the Traveler's reasons, only concerned that if the Witch Queen takes the Traveler and seals it away, humanity would lose any hope of surviving the Witness. Theorizing that the calcified worm familiar found in Savathun's temple may hold the key to stopping the Witch Queen, Ikora takes the worm to the Enclave, believing that the relic within may be able to slice into its past. With Eris helping her prepare, Ikora, after a struggle, can see into a memory of the worm familiar and discovers a shocking revelation. The worm familiar whispered that a cataclysm would come and destroy their home of Fundament, but in truth it was the Witness who spoke, and it lied to Sathona. There was no cataclysm coming. The Hive were lied to. The Witness was aware that the Krill would soon encounter the Traveler, and so, to claim them first, the Witness deceived Sathona into guiding her siblings into the deep, thereby leading them to release the Worm Gods and forge the pact that would create the Hive species, and rebirthing Sathona and her siblings into the Hive Gods Oryx, Zivorath, and Savathun. Armed with this knowledge, and with Savathun's ritual already beginning, Ikora has the Guardian take the familiar so they confront the Witch Queen. The truth would destabilize the Hive God of Lies, breaking her hold over the ritual. With no time to lose, the Guardians enter Savathun's throne world, but finds that the Traveler is already within her domain, forcing the Guardian to fight through Hive and Scorn forces to reach the portal to the ritual's location. Fortunately, Ikora herself arrives to help open the way after the Guardian held off Hive reinforcements, allowing the Guardian to enter the Court of Thorns, and fight their way up to the top of Savathun's fortress. Despite Lightbearer Hive barring the way and the Witch Queen's taunts, the Guardian was able to reach Savathun's inner chamber and the ritual's location, the sanctum of the Brood Queen. Confronting Savathun, the Guardians battle her and her Lightbearer Hive and manage to defeat her. But before they could destroy her ghost, she trapped them in a thread-bound spell, allowing herself the time to revive and retreat to her ritual's center point. Pursuing, the Guardian battles with Savathun once more, but proves too powerful for them. Knowing the truth likely won't stop her, but aware they need to try, the Guardian gains access to a portal that leads them to a memory altar, but also see that Savathun is casting a spell that is weaving a web around the traveler. Heading to two of the towers, the Guardian can slay the spell's thread weavers, undoing the spell before showing Savathun the memory of the witness's lie. At first, the memory surprises and confuses Savathun. She ultimately becomes infuriated that the Guardian is using her own tricks against her, sending the Witch Queen into a fury. As they disrupt her ritual and undo her spell, with the last of the thread weavers slain and her spell broken, the enraged Savathun forces the Guardian back to her sanctum and battles them. Despite the full force of her light and the support of her lucent brood, the Guardian nonetheless defeats the Witch Queen. Before dying, Savathun admits that she miscalculated and gives the warning to the Guardian that the witness is coming and that the game is theirs to play now. However, before the Guardian is able to destroy her ghost, the traveler returns to the last city in a flash of light, allowing Amaru to flee. Nonetheless, as a victory, Ikora sends her hidden to collect Savathun's remains, with the Guardian believing that their next plan is to prepare for the witness's return and prevent another collapse. Despite the loss of their queen, the Lucent Brood continued to operate under Amaru, plotting his return as the Hive and Scorn struggled for supremacy over Savathun's throne world. This forces the Vanguard to conduct operations within the throne world to prevent either faction from gaining any ground. So what did you guys think of the Witch Queen expansion from Destiny 2? Please let me know in the comments down below. If you haven't already, please be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, join the Sith Citadel Discord, links in the description, and consider becoming a join member or sending a super thanks if you wish to further support the channel. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next video.